that was the hacky sack pass. Great standing pass for a seated versus the seated player. But what you'll find is that in the gym, right, a lot of times we're both starting on the ground, right? It's especially open mat. Yesterday we had 60 people in here for the open mat, super crowded, right? So that standing passing requires a little bit more room, and so real common in jujitsu uh, for us to just play here, like, well, okay, and we're passing, and basically, if he's seated, then I would generally come up to like a knee, right, and he's playing guard. I'm looking to pass his guard, and maybe I'm going to dump in his feet. I'm trying to knee cut through, whatever the case may be. Um, One of my favorite passes from here is a pass that I invented. I call it the Falcon Pass. Um, Basically comes from a wrestling fundamental about hand control. In wrestling, like if I reach for his head, he can't really let me just reach for his head because I'm going to start to snap and wear in his neck and push him and pull him and break his stance. So if a guy's reaching for your head, you've got to address that tie up. And so I'm basically using that same theory here where I'm going to start to reach for Mars. Right now, this is closed, right? I can't get past because his knees, his forearms, everything is connected. There's no path through to his hip, and that's what I'm trying to do is get hip to hip, chest to chest, where I can pin him. So I'll take this combat-based position here. I've got one hand on the mat, and that's real important because that's what's going to propel me into the pass. And then I'm going to start to mess with him. And I might like push his head. He doesn't like it, right? I'm here. And that's what I'm looking for. All I'm looking for is for him to reach for my hand so that I've opened this space, right? If that's closed, I don't have the pass. If I can reach where that space becomes open, then I can go. I'm going to propel myself from this backhand to my front foot. I'm going to lead here, shooting through hip to hip. I like to then circle the head this way and run into a position we call flat mode. I'm pinching his hips with my head and arm. I'm pinching his head and arm with my arm and hips. So he's playing seated guard. I'm in this combat base. I'm looking for that. And I'm jumping through. And I'm just looking to make that hip to hip contact to knock him back. Some of you guys, when you're doing that standing pass, you guys are going too nice to each other. You're landing on the mat. You wanna force him to carry your weight. That's why the number one rule in grappling is get on top, stay on top. Person on bottom's doing more work. They're forced to carry my weight. I want him to carry my weight, and I want him to start carrying it as quickly as possible. Right? So I want to pass that guard as quick as I can so that he is doing more work. When I'm on top, I'm kind of hanging out, and he's got to actively struggle to get out. The more that he struggles, the more his gas tank goes down. And a lot of times you'll get taps just because people have exhausted themselves and they're tired of fighting, right? It's like your gas tank is huge. Being able to control, your gas tank by running, doing your cardio outside of the gym, that's huge. And then to negatively affect his gas tank by making sure that he's burning energy the whole time you're grappling, well, you're burning less, right? So here we are one more time. I'm in this combat base. I've got a propel hand here. I'm reaching. Once that opens, I'm jumping through here. I'm bringing this up. Boom, hip to hip, loop the head, backstroke to control the hip, chest to chest. I'm lifting his head. That's making me heavier. My toes are on the mat. All my weight is pressing into Mars. I'm controlling his hips with my arm and head. I'm controlling his head and arm with my arms and hips. Question? Question? Yes, sir. Say what? Yeah.
Um, if I'm playing like to one side here,
Yeah.
I want to shoot to the bottom side, or does it matter
I
really?
would go to the top
You
side.
go to the top side?
Yeah, because I'm trying to clear that knee.
Right.
Yeah. Got it. And that's, I'm just, yeah, if he's, yeah, because, yeah, I don't know why. But I want to come over here. I don't know why that doesn't feel right to go to the bottom
I
side.
mean, it makes sense that I'm blocking with this arm too.
Yeah, and that's just Cool. So the whole idea, right, is that you're reaching for them, and people have like a natural instinct to reach. You'll see it's real common in jujitsu, much more so than wrestling. You'll see guys like interlace with this like mercy grip, right? You'll see this like I don't know I don't know why you don't see that much in wrestling, but yeah, you'll see jujitsu guys like hanging out here like this. Like, I love you too, buddy. I don't know what that's about, but
I've been doing a lot the like where you're like kind of like yeah, a little pressure on your
yeah,
wrist.
like
Now we're playing a little
right.
wrist more.
But yeah, so it's like there's a natural instinct somebody reaches for you to reach for their hand. You don't because this then I can start to push and move and harass his head, and he doesn't want that, so he's going to reach to intercept. When he reaches, he opens the door. Question.
In wrestling, they don't teach you to do any of this stuff because it's illegal to do any small joint manipulation. So when you're even hand fighting, it's generally taught you like paddle grip stuff,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you start immediately getting into cable grip type fighting where you're going for the guy's wrist instead of anything knuckle style grip.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically that's illegal in jujitsu.
Just small joint manipulation, right? But it's not frowned upon for you guys to start getting grappled up like this to
Right.
start with, and you start doing this.
Yeah.
In wrestling, like you don't even start engaging like that. You start immediately like collar tying up and wrist lock.
Questions. Let's play with it. 1, 2.